Yeah, man, do you want to hear about my worst 48 hours ever of my life? What happened was, I was in Bangkok, I went travelling, and from travelling, I decided to stay in this 5-star hotel. It's a massive 5-star hotel, and I thought what I'd do is that I'd go and get a massage in Bangkok. And I've tried hard, really hard, not to get them oil massages, Thai massage, but what happened was, my last night I decided, let me just go and get a massage, and I couldn't get a massage in this 5-star hotel. So what I did, I walked down, and there it was, all these Thai girls standing outside, and I'm a man of equality, and I didn't really want to go for a really pretty one. I didn't really want to go for a really ugly one, so I went for a really like, semi-pretty one. And what happened was, she ended up taking me upstairs all the way, and asked me to take my clothes off, and I'm being serious, she asked me to take my clothes off. What did I do? I oiled myself, she ordered me, put me in the room, asked me, and then I had my briefs on, and then she comes to straighten, and this is no lie, she puts her hand on my bum and says, happy ending 2000 baht, and there I was, man. I don't do happy ending, you know what I mean? I'm a good Christian boy, I'm not doing happy ending. We argued for a bit, she kept on trying it. I said, listen, what I do, give me a good massage, right? And then I'll pay you the money. Eventually, I paid her 2,000 baht. I didn't have any money left. I'm walking down, and then the madam of the place gets to me, where's my money? She's at the back going, like that, I didn't even get a happy ending. They've got the bouncers out. Everyone, the whole crowd in Bangkok is shouting their hand, happy ending, and they have to follow me to the 5-star hotel. Embarrassing, man. So there it was. That's the start of my thing, but no sleep. So what happens is this. I'm staying over in Qatar, and imagine the scene. I've just spent 8 hours in a Thai place haggling over money for something I didn't even do. So I'm there, smelling of drink, smelling of supposedly Thai weed, coming out of the airport in Qatar. I'm walking through in Qatar. Where are the boys, man? I'm walking through Qatar, and now I'm just standing there, walking through with a t-shirt, sweaty, black guy arrived in Bangkok on his own to stay overnight in Qatar. I'm walking through the airport, and what happens is, I put my bag through, I'm walking through, everything's fine, then I get a tap on the shoulder from this Colonel Gaddafi lookalike. Hey man, come with me, he says. I say, I've had 1 hour sleep, why am I going to come with you? I'm not that kind of man. I'm just here for a stopover to sleep for a while. He says, you come with me now, man. Now. But not in that accent. And there he was, standing there, right? Sorry, people. There he was standing there. So I had to follow him, And now I was walking, he's behind me, walking and walking behind me. I had to go straight through, and then he puts me into this, I'm walking through the airport in the Middle East, man. I'm like hungover, I'm drenched with sweat, you know, I just want to go and sleep. He puts me into this room at the back of the airport, white room, blood stains everywhere, and a couple of yellow stains, white stains, and he shuts the door and leaves me there to stew. And I'm there thinking, man, how surreal. You know, just 8 hours ago, I was haggling over some so-called prostitutes, some madam. Now I'm in the Qatar jail, hanging in there for no reason. What's going to happen? I don't know. And you know, the worst thing is I'm quite happy about this. And I'm sitting there, stewing, and then he comes in slowly. And sits down and just looks at me like this. I start to laugh. I go, what's wrong, man? What's wrong, dude? He looks at me, stares at me, and his words were, you do drugs? No, I don't do drugs unless I've got a cold, I need to sleep. But you know, I've just come from Bangkok. Why are you in Bangkok? You do drugs? You do drugs? I know you do drugs. I know you do drugs. All of a sudden, I'm there going, I don't do drugs, man. I don't do drugs. Leave me alone. Still a bit jokey. He turns around, picks up his phone, and goes, something like that. All of a sudden, these two big Arab guys come in. This is a true story. Standing over me. So there I am, drenched, tired, hungover, being accused of drugs in the middle of the Middle East, while these big guys are behind me. He starts accusing me again. He goes, "Take your clothes off." I said, "What? Take your clothes off." So I'm there, sitting in this. Imagine this scene there. I'm there, little young me, sitting there in my little boxer shorts with two big Middle Eastern guys around me, a real stiff guy looking at me, and I'm there, and he's taking my clothes off, sniffing through my things, telling me, threatening me that he's going to inject me with a blood test for drugs. I'm starting to plead. I get all English in his ass. "Excuse me, I want to see my lawyer. How dare you do this shit?" He's there and he's looking me straight in the eye. And the kid blow was this. I said, "Listen, man, I don't do drugs. I'm a Christian." He says, "How dare you? You come to this place and you say you're a Christian and you don't do drugs? You are fucked," he says. "This is it. End of story. What I'm going to do is this. I'm going to leave you here. And you're going to stew in it, so I'm going to give you a blood test and that's it. You're stuck in this place forever, man. You're on the terror dome." So there I was, freaking myself out. What am I going to do? This is bad, man. This is a bad, bad situation.
There are some better things to do.
So I decided, what I'm going to do is this. I am going to die here. So as he walks out, he gives this nod to the guards behind me to say, "Listen, bro, this is it." He gives me the nod going like this. He looks at these two guys and he nods. He does this. And I could see my life slipping past my fingers as he's walking out that door. And in my mind I'm thinking, if he goes for that door, this is me done, I'm done. Mum, no one's going to believe me apart from my mum and dad. All my friends are going to say, "What a silly little boy taking a little bit of spliff into the Middle East." And I didn't do anything wrong. I don't do that. But as he just walking around the door, it came into my mind, I need to say something as I'm finished. So what do I decide to do? I said to him straight, as he's walking through the door, I said this, excuse me, hand up. Hand up. He's walking through the door. I turned around to him and I went, "Excuse me, I don't do drugs." He says, "I've heard it before, you are finished in this country. We do blood tests, we know we got drugs on you." You know what I said? He turned around, I said, "I don't do drugs, I've got a reason." He turns around, looks at me silently and says, "What do you mean?" I said, "I'm an athlete." And that was the best bit, man, because I knew his eyes shone. He looked at me with curious looks and says, "Athletes?" And he stops. He stops and he stands and he goes to sit and he goes, "What do you mean, what athlete?" I had him. So I said to him, "Well, I play a sport. That's why I don't do drugs." I could see for the first time his eyes shone with anticipation. For the first time he looks me up and down. While I'm sitting there in my soiled, sweaty briefs that I've had for 2 weeks in Thailand. You know, my knees knocking together, the grunts of the big guys behind me still. But I still knew I had him. I still knew my life was in my hands. So I turn around to the guy and he says, "No lie." I say to him, looking straight in the eye, "I'm a footballer, man." He goes, the whole situation changed. He goes, "You play football? Football? Premiership?" He starts naming all these black players. Yeah, Premiership. You play Premiership? The two guys behind me start going, they start speaking to this guy. "What are you saying?" And he's saying, "Oh, this naked little black boy in brief is a Premiership player." They got a Premiership player? Then they go and get their other friends and they all come running in. And they all come running in. And they all come running in. And one by one they come there and they're taking pictures with this supposedly Premiership football standing there. So listen to this scene. I'm there, soiled briefs, hanging for the rest of my life. Haven't slept for 2 weeks. And I'm there taking pictures with these Middle Eastern guys in uniform from the airport because they think I'm a fucking Premiership player. So I'm there, and more people coming in. The guy starts chatting to me about Chelsea tactics. Where do I play? Oh, I play. You know, I thought, let me say flair midfielder. I say flair midfielder. He's asking me, do I know this? What's it like? What's the training like? I said, hey, the training's great. Hence, I don't do drugs. So there I am, and my confidence is growing because there's more and more people coming in, and he smiled at me, and he started mentioning about his son that plays football, and what should he do because he hasn't got a left foot. So we talk about no left foot players, and I said, hey, wait a minute. I can't be talking about you in football when I've got no thing to cover my bare. He gives me the clothes, I sit there and then I start getting cocky. I said, this is outrageous. If I come from, this should be all in the papers. This is ridiculous. I can't do this. Do you know what they do? I take 17 different pictures. I sign one autograph. Then, they put my clothes in, put me in a car with a police car, and take me to my hotel. Man, don't do drugs. That's it, bro.